Welcome back to the Blindsiders. I am Ben, and I am here with Brian to talk about episode number 8 of Survivor 45. I'm always like only 80 to 90% sure on the episode number, even when I've looked at it beforehand.
I made sure to check as well so that we could be sure.
We got our first real merge vote, sort of. I mean, we still said somebody lose a vote, and it looks like they might have one again next week. But it was the closest we've gotten to a real vote, and we got a blindside, and it was a very fun episode. We got the Survivor auction back. What are your thoughts? Coming right out of this episode, Brian?
I thought it was the best episode of the season. I thought it was really compelling. I thought it showed why Reba, outclassed Bello here. We were laying the groundwork for it the last few weeks, showing all the dysfunction within Bello. Even though they lost J Maya and they lost Sifu, never really part of the long-term plans for that core alliance plus Emily. So it all worked out to kind of lull Bello into this false sense of like, this game's wide open, anyone can go, when that's not the case.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we made I made the comparison before with Australian Outback to like the Tina Colby Keith core, and like the strategy within Ogacore, like forcing out the Jerrys and the Ambers who didn't really contribute to that core alliance. And I think that's kind of like on a larger scale what this Reba 4 plus Emily has done. I at this point, like I said previously, I don't think that any Bello except maybe Kelly could win, especially based off of the edit. But a combination of edit and gameplay. And at this point, now that Kelly's gone, I think that we're 100% looking at a winner that's either Reba or Emily. Yes. Probably not Julie, but
yeah, no, they're not doing her very much in the edit at all.
But one of the other four.
Totally agree. As much as I would love for Jake to win this season, that very, very Owen vibes. Yeah. Where it's like no one's listening to him, no one's really taking him that seriously. It'll be fun to see how long he can last, of course, but unfortunately, I think he blew his load a little too early in the last episode, and gave up any like strategic ground he had in the game.
No, I think that and then we also covered this when he made the move last week, or he tried at least to make the move last week. Like there's this big like argument online of like, Couture didn't make a bad move or Jake didn't make they both made bad moves in different ways, and they're both going to lose Survivor because of it.
They're both still in the game, but they're both drawing dead pretty much at this point, and that's a terrible place to be.
Yeah, I never really understood the reasoning why people were trying to like argue whose fault more so or who played worse when like both of them made like pretty tangible mistakes. It's just not good. And at least I guess Jake had like admitted that he screwed up at the start of this episode and did like a mea culpa, and like went to Julie and was like, hey, we're probably not going to work together, but hopefully you don't hate me.
Julie was like, I hate this guy so much. Maybe the chocolate cake helped a little at the auction,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's the real payback. Sorry, I tried to vote you out. Have some chocolate cake.
Chocolate cake can cure most things. Maybe not this though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I also like the Survivor is a fun game, isn't it? And she's like, yeah, let's see if you say that when you see your name get written down. And a little bit of a foreshadowing there, given that his name ends up getting written down quite a bit in the end of the episode.
Yep. No, and like you said, it's fun that he's kind of, aware of where his game's going to be. And, he's doing what he can. He's got to fight. You can't just roll over. You got to do whatever you can. I did see like shades of Sierra from Second Chance being like, guys, you need to play the game, But I mean, that is a frustrating spot to be in for sure. But he did seem to have a good attitude about it, and his reaction to staying was great all time.
Yeah, no, I mean the tribal council, like across the board, was one of the best that I can think of in recent memory. But yeah, no, I think he had an okay bounce back episode, like pretty much as good as somebody who should have been drawing dead and like an obvious next boot could have. He did what I think is correct in that situation, which is to play like basically as a dead fish and just be like completely non-threatening and to the point where people are like, why are we wasting around getting this douchebag out? And just like, hey, Kelly, she's actually good at Survivor. Let's vote her out instead.
Yeah, and like obviously a little bit of victim of circumstance for Kelly. She's so frustrated with Bruce, and Bruce wins immunity, and it kind of like indirectly seals her fate. But it's a good move here. I do want to talk about that now. Do you want to go through the auction stuff first? What are you feeling?
I think we can go through the auction stuff first, because I think it sets the stage for like Bruce's episode. Because like Bruce was all over the place this episode. I didn't know if I was supposed to be rooting for him or be happy he won immunity, or like be like, man, I can't believe this guy's surviving again, like Couture was, or like I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with him, because it seemed like they were like, oh, Bruce is so lazy and worthless, and he's not even trying. He preaches about working hard and he puts no effort in, and then that like results in him losing his vote. But then he gets completely bailed out. So it's like, I don't know. What are your thoughts on what we're doing here?
I just think Bruce is a very fun character. Bad Survivor player, right?
Oh,
like
100%,
there's no real
yeah.
debate about it.
Yeah.
At this point. He's not good at this.
He's only still in the game because he's only been vulnerable one time, and even that one time he like barely got through.
Even though he lucked out by being in a majority alliance on a or at least a 3-3 alliance that the other three weren't particularly keen on sticking together. No, he's so lucky. He had the worst luck ever in Survivor history, and also I said at the time, but like Bruce, you gotta be aware of like what you're doing in a challenge. Like he almost hit his head the first time he went under a log, and then he immediately smashed into it right away. So not great stuff from him, but he's taken all the negative karma and turned it into positive karma in this season, because like probably not someone who goes deep very often, right? Yeah.
No. On average, probably a pre-merge boot, but he definitely, drew the long straw, and he didn't go to a pre-merge tribal. Yeah.
I will always wonder what him on Tika would have been like.
I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if he's just the first boot again.
Yeah.
So like maybe honestly him almost like breaking his head open probably made his Survivor legacy better, just because he probably otherwise would have been just voted out first instead, and then nobody would have even thought about bringing him back.
Yeah, who was the first guy out of the yellow? Was it like Yara or Yase tribe? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I can't even remember his name either. That would have been his fate.
Yep.
Probably, or similar to it. How many of these new era early boots do we just like completely blank on?
Yeah, no, I mean, like look at for example, Maddie, when I tried to reference her before, and she was actually like a decent player, like potential.
She had some juice in that episode.
High potential first boot, who like ran up against a lot of bad luck. Nobody's clamoring for Maddie to get back, and I accidentally called her Molly on the podcast.
Yeah, where Molly was the girl that people said was like a new Parv and voted her off first, which is hilarious.
Yeah, that was 39, right? That was
yeah.
She's the second boot, third boot.
Yep.
Like that. Yeah.
Third, yeah. third
Yeah,
boot.
I think she was second from her tribe, but third overall, right?
There's a double boot for that terrible orange tribe in the first
Oh,
episode with Gonzalez,
yeah.
Jacob Derwin,
Yeah.
and then the other tribe finally
Wait,
lost.
am I thinking of the right Molly, or am I thinking of
Oh,
a
wait.
different Molly?
Wait, I'm mixing up. I'm combining Ghost Island and
Island
39.
Isles.
Oh my god, did I hit my head like Bruce before recording?
Yeah, no.
This is
I was confused for a second. You said
terrible.
when you said Gonzalez and Jacob Derwin, I was like, wait.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, no, sorry, that's on me. Yeah, I think second boot.
Yeah, no, because Molly was with she had like the king and queen edit with Jamal, and kind of took them down, and then Jack was like the dunce or whatever, and then court jester.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, unsurprisingly, not a season Ben and I have watched back again.
Yeah, I have not rewatched Island of the Idols, so I'm sorry if my memory is a little shady on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Edge of Extinction's the like most recent season I've rewatched, and that's probably for me as far as I want to go right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Anyways, I think that this is just good luck for Bruce. He didn't have the vote. That's whatever. It didn't really matter. I mean, I guess it could have if the Bello tribe wanted to stick together, but they didn't, so it didn't matter at all. But yeah, this is just good luck for him. I'm glad he got on the season. I'm glad he got to be around because he's very entertaining to me personally.
Yeah. So I guess we can go through the auction twists. We had 3 twists, one of which wasn't really a twist, which is just that there wasn't advantages. And they told them
which is great. Exactly what they should have done.
Yeah, which is basically how everybody, since they stopped doing the auction, has said to fix it. Is like just stop doing it. But instead of doing advantages, they turned the auction into a really poorly designed strategy game. Yeah. So the first thing we have,
Survivor just can't do anything straightforward anymore.
Well, okay, I don't mind the idea in theory of turning the auction into a macro strategy game, but they designed it with the rules so poorly, and it made for like such boring television. Because firstly, we had people getting doing like mini idol hunts basically in the woods. Running through the woods looking for little bamboo shoots to find money, which is where Bruce was being trying to be like the tortoise and the hare instead of just being like, hey, I don't want to run, I'm lazy. And this on paper, I think this is fine. It's probably like ate up a little bit more time than I wanted to, but at least the Bruce part of it gave it some amount of value. I don't know what your thoughts on that.
Yeah, it was fine. I would have preferred a straightforward auction, but I don't hate this part of it.
Yeah.
Trying to think anything interesting. Was it D who got $900? That's crazy.
Yeah. So traditionally they get around 500 each. So she almost doubles the normal amount.
Yeah, spend it all on a milkshake too, but that's fine. I don't love the you lose your vote if you don't have money. I think it's fine to just have the auction end without warning. That's fine.
Yeah, no, I think. Yeah, they Jeff took what already happened, which is the auction ending early, and just kind of gave them a framework around which it was going to end early, so that people could theoretically strategize. But because of how it worked, the strategy was both very obvious and completely had no counterplay.
Right.
Where it's just every time somebody could potentially lose their vote because they had the most money, the correct move was just to spend all your money on the next item no matter what.
Yep.
And there's nothing anybody else can do about it because they have the most money. So that literally happened 70% of the 10 rounds. And it's okay, well, we're watching an auction, but there's no actual auction happening. There's no back and forth I'm gonna bid, that happened for the first 2 or 3 rounds, But after that, it didn't happen at all. Because whoever had the most money was just like, I'm buying the thing with all of my money.
Yeah. And it's hard too, because like, you know, you want that, and you want to like kind of judge like, oh, are these bets good? Like $20 increments, and they're going up like $80. It's like, you don't have to do that right away.
Yeah.
You can go up.
Well, that would have been the way to actually fix it and have actual strategy, is to force them to start at 20 and only increase in $20 increments. Because then the people with low amounts of money could intentionally not bid to try and screw over the people who have a bunch of money and like force them to not spend their money, so that they're only spending $20 an item. Like Dee would only be able to spend $20 if nobody bid against her. So she would win all of the items, but she still might lose her vote. Like that would have actually potentially been interesting strategically, but they didn't do that.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, maybe the next version of this they'll do it.
I just don't understand that they have no people who understand basic game theory on their production team. They're like, we literally fixed the blatant obvious issue with their game in 5 seconds.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't think, and I think the same goes for Big Brother. They don't hire people like us who just sit around thinking about the game elements of these games. And I think that's just very clear by like all the various twists and like things where it's like you said, we'll be presented something and it'll be like, wow, this is really janky. We need to fix this right away. And for some reason, these shows just never get past the first iteration of an idea.
Yeah. I mean, they just don't play test things. They don't like think, hey, if I was in their situation, what would be my most optimal move? Yeah. And like what result would that create for the television product? It's just, I don't know. But it was fun to have the option back, even if they screwed it up.
Yes. What do you think of the biggest fish eyes I've ever seen in my entire life? I wish they showed us the fish that they harvested those from.
It had to be like I was thinking like a whale, but I don't know if probably too small for a whale.
Yeah, maybe like one of those like what are they called? Like not sunfish, like sailfish, but like just like giant circles.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about. The one from that video with that Boston guy's like,
yeah, that's immediately what I thought of too. Yeah,
yeah,
baby whale.
Yeah, I was seeing something we ain't never seen before, kid. Amazing. Yeah. That's the only kind of fish that I can think of that's that enormous. And
would you have eaten it?
No, dude. So when I played in the Durham challenge, the gross food eating challenge was what got me out of the game. And one of the things were fish eyes, and they were like, you know, quarter-sized fish eyes. And I took a bite and like
they exploded in your mouth.
They exploded and something like a ball like went to the back of my throat, and I just like spit it all up, and I was like, nah. So when I saw that, I was like, no fucking way. And then when Austin bit it and like the film like broke apart and all the guts and juices like came out. Oh god, dude. No.
PTSD. Yeah, no, I think that for me, we did like liver in Survivor New York. You and me both did that.
Yeah. I didn't win my round of that either. I'm very bad at gross food challenges.
I don't eat meat, and I did it for that, and I think won my round, and then I just shit my brains out right after. No, but I've done crickets. And then I did, I think one or two other ones, but yeah, no, I've never done fish eyes, but
then the next season of Survivor New York, they made him eat Bernie Bott's every flavored beans.
Yeah,
like,
that's
the gross one. I was like, what? Like you can just swallow those.
Yeah.
Whatever. I also had to eat a fucking worm, like a clam worm and pig tongue. And just what a nightmare! I hate the gross food challenge. Get it out of here.
It's fun to watch, but not fun to do.
To come back, yeah. The only thing that's kind of funny is like Jeremy in Second Chance after his tribe won, and he came and took a bite of the leftover balut. That was funny. That was like a good bit by him. But yeah, I mean, yeah, they've added good moments. Denise not being able to eat hers when James is trying to throw it to him, to her, and Bobby John trying to eat the balut and like smashing himself in the head because he's a
the
psycho.
Fatharu is a classic.
Oh yeah, so good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, yeah, but horrible. Would never want to do it. Would never eat that eyeball. What do you think the bet? Like this just completely changed the lanes. What do you think the best item was?
It's something because like the pizza looked really bad.
Oh, dude, it looked. Is that the worst pizza ever on Survivor? I think yes.
It's got to be like at least top 5. But
Yeah.
the pizza would be in theory. The fact that it was like not even a full pizza is silly.
Just a big slice.
Like one of the good classics is like spaghetti and meatballs with garlic bread, like just
So
all carbs and like a little bit of protein. Like that's like
wine with it too.
Yeah, that's what you're looking for. I think that's like the S tier auction meal.
Yeah, this would be an off-season podcast where we rank the.
Yeah, I think Kelly's sandwich and Marg's and stuff, like she had a lot of stuff going on that plate, but it didn't look like she had a ton of time to eat it.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say the same thing. The PB&J chips in a margarita, amazing. Yeah. Carbs, protein, sugar with the jelly and the margarita, like everything you could ask for, and he just ended the auction on her right away.
Yeah, I assume she had to like shovel shit down before they left.
Yeah, she at least got to do that.
Yeah, especially with the results of the episode.
The charcuterie board looked good too.
Yeah, that was the next one I was going to mention. I think the charcuterie board and the wine is probably
white wine, very refreshing.
Yeah,
I would have also bid on the beer and not peanuts, pretzels. Yeah.
I'm not a big pretzels guy, and especially when I'm already probably dehydrated. Like I don't know if I want to be eating that much salt.
Well, you got a big beer to watch.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, just what I need when I'm dehydrated is a big beer. I guess it has probably more, like carbs in it than like other alcohol. But like, no, sure. I would probably. I think the PB&J, the chips, and the Marg is probably the best.
Yeah,
that they had.
Yeah, I think the charcuterie would probably, unless like cheese doesn't agree with you, would probably be like one of the easier ones on your stomach of all of them. I always think about that with any of these rewards, where it's just like if you don't eat for days, any food you're gonna eat is gonna like destroy you. And like what's gonna mitigate being the pizza, probably the worst one, probably make the most upset stomach.
I don't know, man. The anything that's just sweets, like candy bowl that Drew had, chocolate milkshake. I don't know. The chocolate milkshake probably goes right through you.
Yeah, when Dee bought that, I thought about that too. Like that's not going to be an enjoyable experience at all. Yeah. The candy also
looks some are bad. Yeah, the candy looks awful. Look like some shit your great aunt would have on like her.
Yeah. Well, yeah, where did they get this? Like, who made this?
It's like Jeff's sister-in-law.
Yeah. But the other thing I think is they like go to the cheapest Fijian candy store you can find and get a big bag of candy.
Yeah, I mean, like there's so many good candies you can get, and like there's so many good They're a way better candies than a bunch of like hard candies than you would want on Survivor as well. Like those are the worst you'd probably want.
Yeah. I wonder if maybe it was like we need to get the least like distinguished candies so that we don't have to pay anybody anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, no chocolate and peanut butter. Disappointing.
The PB&J, that was the closest.
Yeah, I think peanut butter is just such a good like way to have protein too in that scenario. Like 100%. You said, if you're not really eating meat, it's gonna hurt your stomach. Hopefully peanut butter wouldn't as bad.
Yeah, you don't want to like pull a Joe Del Campo.
No, oh my god, dude, that was rough. His
Yeah.
stomach like got so swollen.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I think it was a fun time. Unfortunately for Bruce, he lost his vote.
Mm-hmm. I mean, deserved.
Yeah, deserved. he couldn't have done this auction any worse.
Yeah, look, I mean, at least he got some cake. But
That's true.
Yeah, all he had to do was literally just put in a modicum of effort, and he would have been fine. But it doesn't really matter because we get to the immunity challenge.
Yeah, I fucking loved Jeff stabbing the rice and adding a ticking clock to this. That was inspired.
Yeah, that was really good. All like that washed away the mistakes of designing the auction poorly. Because like we've seen this obviously multiple times. This is like the the Angelina Keeley Cardona Memorial. Yeah. Where they got to barter for rice. They got to sit out X number of people to get a bag of rice so they don't starve for the rest of the season. And it almost always works out. I think it's always worked out.
I don't think it's ever not.
But yeah, this is good. A good way to force them to not dilly dally.
Yeah,
it was very, very good visual, really good meme potential.
And I hope, obviously, with the back to back, that he does it again on 46 because the reaction was so fun.
Yeah,
from everybody.
It's like one of the advantages of doing having filming back to back is you can do the same bit both times and have the same result. So
yeah, no, it was really good stuff, and they definitely tricked me before the episode when I saw what the immunity challenge was, because it did like some preview of it, and I was like, oh, obviously this is the after the auction immunity challenge for that advantage of being able to move up and not and unbeatable advantage. But they just figured to do it anyways without the advantage, and I think that's fine because I think it's interesting to watch this actually play out for real.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've really kind of gotten like a straightforward version, and it was good. I think it was well balanced. I know that in recent seasons, a lot of the kind of fatigue based endurance challenges have not gone super long because for one reason or another. This one had like 4 people go all the way towards the end. So
yeah, it was great. I really like that they do it based on starting body weight. That makes it fair and fun, and you feel like anybody can win, even though this does. Well, it advantages the person who gets the advantage, but if they don't do it, it usually advantages a guy who is kind of muscular. I've noticed that a lot of times they're like either winning or losing the challenge, to whoever has the advantage.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's like, we talk about like fairness of competitions on Big Brother a lot, especially this past season and recent seasons. I think it's a good way to do it. And I think, even despite the fact that it certainly does advantage men, I think on average, Julie did hold on pretty deep into the challenge.
She did great. Yeah, she did great. Yeah. I mean, it definitely helped her starting off so thin, and like probably not having too much weight. I think like, a player like Denise, who's like pretty jacked and skinny, she probably could have done really well at this challenge. Who's another one? Only because I've watched the challenge recently. Desi, she's super jacked and like skinny. Who's the one who's just on the Orange Tribe? She came in like 5th place.
Lauren.
Was it Lauren? Was that her name?
On 42.
Yeah, on 42.
Oh, I thought you were talking about 44.
Right.
On 40. Lindsay.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
She's jacked and thin. I think she probably could do well at the challenge like this.
It's definitely like Rasa body type.
Yeah.
So, like, it's all about your strength to body weight like ratio, right? Whoever has the highest strength to weight ratio is going to win almost
Yeah,
always.
like I don't think a player like Jonathan would be great at this because like what's his starting weight, like 120 pounds?
Yeah.
You know, like it's gonna, no matter how jacked you are, that's gonna weigh on your arm pretty badly.
Yeah, and especially when, as, a little physics lesson that they, try to impart on people, as the thing goes further down, more of the weight has a vertical component to its weight as opposed to a horizontal component. Yeah.
Yeah, so I really did like this challenge. I like how the always have it fall and smash something. That's just a good visual. This time it was a pelican, which good stuff. Good production design.
Yeah, this is like this whole season has really reached out and touched Austin Taylor's soul.
Yes.
First in that it's positive treatment of quitters, and then also in its negative treatment of pelicans.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw, but Jeff went on some shows. I think it was Mario and Kelly in place of Regis and Kelly now, with Mario Lopez.
I don't watch daytime talk show TV.
But he went on there and he was like, "I'm not going to be snuffing any quitters' torches anymore."
Yeah, I saw that be posted, but I didn't see where he said it.
Yeah, he's over it, and he's coming back to the Jeff that we know.
I thought he'd already said that previously. But
yeah, he did.
not.
But then he, he said after Purple Kelly and Nyanka quit that like they're not going to be part of the jury. We're not going to snuff their torch. And then he got soft, and he saw what that got him.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was gonna say the issue would be like meta quits, right? But most of those happen on the beach anyways, so they're not really happening at tribal most of the time. But yeah, I do think there's a spectrum of quitting. So I think having a hard line, I'm not gonna step their torches, is silly. They probably just need to like cast better. I know that's kind of like a cast better forehead, like don't cast quitters, you dummies. Like I'm trying to like I'm sure it's obviously not that easy, and nobody's really like giving red flags to production.
I do think they will be like, can we see your tax returns? How desperate are you?
Okay, but that's the thing though. Like, I don't think like having money necessarily means you're like more inclined to quit. Like I definitely think it like there's probably some amount of correlation, but like I don't know. Like I don't think I would ever quit Survivor.
No. And you know what? Hey, post economic recession, Survivor is gonna hit. Everyone's gonna be really desperate.
That's true. Yeah, that's what we really need for Survivor is a good recession.
Jesus Christ! Sound like those fucking CEOs.
Yeah, we sound like famous Survivor first dude, David Sampson.
Oh right, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. No, we obviously don't want that. But I do think that people will. They're not going to cast quitters anymore. They're going to do their due diligence as much as possible, and obviously, certain stuff happens. Like you said, Matthew last season, I understand why he quit. Was it B on 36? Was that her name? Where she had a torn ACL, and she was like a ultimate fighter or mixed martial artist, and it was like, this is my job. My body's my job, so I can't really risk hurting it forever. Those are different.
No, I said meta quits are different. Like when it's like a very clear, like when it's like you might get medevaced, but you don't, and you're like right on the line, and you're like in enormous amounts of physical pain just by existing. But like not to the point where they have to necessarily pull you. Like that's understandable. And even like a lot of non-meta quits are understandable. I think this season is shifted because both of the quits that happened were so like kind of out of nowhere, especially Sean's, and also like they didn't really seem to make a lot of sense. and like didn't really like have a huge like a high justification that people would expect or want. That's probably why we've had the reaction we've had.
Yep. Yep. No, agreed. I just thought that was interesting there. But yeah, good for Bruce. It always, not always, like we've only had the immunity necklace, 2 times, 3 times, whatever you want to say. It is so bright compared to like, you know what I mean? The orange and blues and yellows are so striking.
Yeah, it's definitely. I'm not a huge fan of the immunity necklace this season. I think it's like it's like simultaneously gaudy and basic, which is very odd. And
I have a replica of 41. This is so muted, compared to the newer one this season.
Yeah, no, it's
Freak like Misty on Instagram. Really, really good replica props.
There you go. Nice little shout out there. Maybe if,
I was shout from the heavens for that person. They're so talented.
Yeah. Was it a good price?
I mean, it's expensive, but like I think it's worth the price. Like, this is over $100, but this isn't gonna fall apart, Yeah.
If we ever did do another LRG, we can use it.
That's exactly why I bought it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's I don't know. I think it's all right. It's not like a major part of the season, but just something to point out.
Yeah, it's more just like, oh my god, this is so bright. It's crazy. Like I said, I see this every day, and that's why, like, in my head, what the immunity necklace is. But yeah, good for Bruce here. Cross that one off the old bucket list, to quote Malcolm from Fans versus Favorites. He needed it so bad, and now Bruce, he's still here. He's got an idol. Everyone knows that he has an idol. He has to know that people are going to be coming for him at this point, so presumably he'll play it next round. So Bruce is a lock for the final 8.
Yep, final 8. Unless he gets completely snowed somehow,
which honestly not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah. I know. I didn't watch any of her exit press, but I read briefly that Kelly mentioned that her plan was going to be to like fake like Emily or somebody having a knowledge power to try to like bait Bruce into giving her his idol and then blindside him.
It would have been impressive if it worked.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it didn't play out, but like maybe something like that. Like,
you can say a lot of things when they don't happen, right?
Exactly, yeah. But like, I'm just saying, like that could have been a plan that somebody like a Katura could potentially put into place. Probably not herself, but maybe like if she could convince Kendra to do it, and Kendra is able to pull it off. I don't know how good of a liar Kendra is. TBD, I think, on that one. But yeah, I guess like that idea being potentially percolated out there
could come back. Yeah,
could come back.
Interesting, very interesting. I did enjoy when Jake kind of like figured out it's me. He went to Bruce. He's like, "Is there any chance that you'll give it?" And it was just like, "No, man, sorry."
Yeah. He said no in the nicest way possible without saying no.
Yeah. It was just like I hope Jake in the moment was kind of like, yeah, I know this isn't like gonna happen, but I have to ask.
Yeah, you have to ask. Yeah, I mean, you might as well, right?
And like
the worst thing that can happen is he says no.
Yeah, and like I'm sure no hard feelings from Jake to Bruce on that. Just it wasn't gonna happen for him.
Yeah, he also then immediately goes and runs into the jungle to try to find his own idol, which did not work out.
But I think it's fine. If he knows that what do you have to lose?
You have nothing.
You're gonna if you get voted off anyways, you're gonna be so mad at yourself if you don't like try to rip the jungle apart for an idol.
Yeah.
So
No, yeah, it's just right. It's to like I don't think Jake played like really badly at all this episode. I think
not
like
this
if anything,
episode.
if anything, he corrected some of his previous mistakes, which is partially probably why he ends up staying. Not obviously like a huge a huge segment of the responsibility for why he stayed, but it definitely had like a small fraction. Yeah, it was mostly just he'd already put himself into an unwinnable spot before.
So I loved this. Shades of voting Edgardo out in Fiji. I really loved that. When they were going over it and Drew was pitching it, it was like Drew's right. He's just 100% right. This is the right thing to do.
Yep.
It will just be like, will the girls go for it? That was the only question in my mind. Because, on paper, if you're just like 1,000-foot view, no emotions, this is the right move, period.
Yeah, we did kind of gloss over this women's alliance thing that it becomes like a very, short, like it lasted exactly as long as we predicted it would from last episode.
Well, it just doesn't benefit Emily at all.
No.
Oh, I'm in a final 3 position of the alliance that's going to run the back half of the game probably. Yeah, let me just throw this away for, my fellow women. Like, why would she do that?
Yeah, it makes no sense. Yeah.
And anyone being hard on her also, like, what? Like, she came to Survivor. She literally said, I would rather be the first one out if I can't win. Why would that person of any people be like, oh, I want to do the all girls thing that doesn't benefit me?
Yeah, no, and she writes it out to Drew pretty quickly.
Yeah,
as you would expect.
Yeah. Drew's been nothing but open and honest with Emily this whole game that they've been together. So, like, yeah, Emily's gonna go to Drew and be like, hey, this is happening. Don't freak out because it's not really happening, but like, just so you're aware and just so like you don't hear about it from someone else.
Yeah. And Drew has like a really, really good reaction to it. I think he has a really like good way to be like, hey, if this is happening, I'm going to manipulate it to my advantage, basically.
Yeah.
Obviously it doesn't end up playing out that way because Bruce wins the immunity, but like the idea being like, hey, I don't care if Bruce is the target or Jake is a target. I want those people out anyways. So if this like half fake women's alliance is going to do my work for me and do what I want, at least in the short term, then go ahead. I'll let it do my work for me, and then I'll pick up the pieces afterwards with the people that are actually loyal to me. Yeah,
no, I mean, Drew, really, really solid player.
Yeah.
Game body, sure, but still good player.
Yeah. I mean, the game bots are game bots for a reason because like they're very single track minded on the game. And I do think he gives good confessionals. I think
he's a really good narrator. Yeah, like Cochran style, complete game bot, but like good narrator.
Yeah, and then he also I think makes a good point in the pitch to the Rebas and Emily. I think referencing South Pacific here and saying like, hey, Kelly is the Sophie to Bruce's coach. I think that's a good analogy. It's like a really like potent analogy as well. That kind of really sells why she should be the target. I think it's accurate as well.
Totally. Yeah, totally. It was a good pitch. I think people have finally, I think Winners of War helped a lot. Then people realized that Sophie was a really good player and like won that season on her own merit. Not, I feel like at first people were like, well, people were just bitter at coach. But I think you and I were two pretty outspoken people being like, no, Sophie was a very good player in her own right.
I've been on the Sophie train since like watching, like Sophie was one of my favorite players and winners like at the time. Like I was rooting for Sophie in South Pacific as I watched it.
Right. Yeah. No. And so like, I'm very glad that people have come around on Sophie being like a very good Survivor player.
Yeah. So I think that was really good. I also really liked I think that we've talked before and we've complained about Survivor either not explaining the boot properly because they want to do a blindside for the audience, or like telegraphing the episode so much that like everything is like so clear. And this was like, in my opinion, probably one of the best executed like audience blindsides that they've done recently, where I like legitimately was sold that it was Jake. And I usually can sniff it out when they're trying to blindside the audience and not get tricked, but I was definitely tricked here.
Yeah, no, and it was good because they laid it out like, you know, Kelly's going to go this round. We know that now because we watched it, and this is why. But there's plenty of reasons why Jake could have gone that round also. So, yeah. And Kelly also, you know, all three of the Bello girls also not being in on it helped a lot because there was never like a real sense that there was a counter play coming from Bello in any way.
Yeah.
Which was great.
And I think Jake, especially not knowing, was what really helped the producers be able to sell this audience blindside, because I think that's usually the reason why it's difficult to sell, is because the like decoy target like knows what the real plan would be, and so like you kind of like have it in your head like, oh well, I mean the decoy target's not really that worried, but like Jake was very worried and very convinced that he was going.
Yeah, he played a shot in the dark.
Yeah.
I liked can we have Caleb blow on it?
Yeah.
It's good.
That was really good. Like Jake both ate up the tribal council and also was like stumbling over his words the entire time, barely able to form a cogent sentence. It was very interesting. But he also had the really, really cool play where he intentionally misspeaks to make people think that he like let slip that he has an idol.
Yeah,
I thought it was really
I wanted to ask you, do you think he set it all up from the beginning of like, or do you think it just like he kind of capitalized on the moment?
I think he capitalized on the moment, but I think it was like I think it was probably a combination. I think he capitalized on him not being able to speak properly, but it was probably a pre-thought out thing of like, hey, let me just, you know, accidentally say my idol when I'm speaking in a hypothetical. I think that's a really clever way to try to deflect. I mean, it didn't matter. I don't think. I think all this was like it's very rare that something like that's going to actually end up mattering. But like in like the 2% chance it does, you might as well.
Yeah, I don't think we get enough people just straight bluffing that they have an idol. Honestly,
yeah,
you know?
It's hard to do because like most people, like most of the time, it's correct to call the bluff, and most people will just not believe you unless you show them the idol.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. But we're, you know, Rupert really came in hard with his fake idol, and then it's just been chasing that high ever since.
Yeah. Maybe that's the play. You just need somebody as like completely delusionally paranoid as Russell to just like help you hard sell on the other side.
Yeah, that's another thing I don't think people do enough. You should try to spin those types of players out as much and as often as possible, because like they can just completely destabilize everything for no reason.
Yeah, it happened multiple times with Russell and Heroes vs. Villains.
Yeah,
multiple people did it.
There's not really anybody on this season who's like super paranoid, but like if you're watching this and you go on a future season of Survivor and there's someone like, you know, very paranoid and you're in a bad spot, you know, just try to spin them out as much as you can. Plan as many C's and as much paranoia as you can in that person and hope that they destroy everything for you.
Yeah, I mean, like people have done it like even accidentally in the past. If somebody's paranoid enough, they might even just do it for you. So
I think it's great. I think people should do that. But yeah, I think the only person I could think doing that, and he's not in the majority, is Bruce. I think you could spin Bruce out on each stuff, but it doesn't matter right now.
Yeah, no, he has no power, and he basically hasn't had power for pretty much the entire season.
Yeah.
So, yeah, doesn't matter.
Yeah. So,
anything else? I guess like, what was your take on Kelly actually having an emotional exit? Like we had this like.
Loved it. I loved it. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
I want people to be like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, I,
can't
I,
believe you
I
did that.
guess you outplayed me. Like,
Yeah.
you're so sarcastic. Like, man. Yeah, no, people should be like, people are definitely not upset enough when they lose Survivor these days.
No, it should hurt.
Yeah.
This is your dream. This is your one chance, probably. That's not like maybe it's too many returning seasons or like,
Mhm.
because we see it on Big Brother too, where people are like, oh shucks, you
Mhm.
know. No, this is your one chance at a game that will give you potentially a large sum of money. Like you should be mad,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, especially when you think you're in a good spot, and like even when like with Kelly too, like she vocalizes multiple times throughout the episode, like, "Hey, it would make sense for them to vote me out right now." Like
Yeah.
she sees their correct move and is like, "Man, if they were good at Survivor, they would do this correct move," and then they did, and she's like, oh, "I need to do it."
Yeah, and I did love the shades of Michaela and Jay
Mhm.
from like,
Yeah,
did you
she's
do this?
going through each people. Like, did
Yep,
you do this? Did you do this? You did this. You did this.
yep. But yeah, I mean I think the Jay one was still better just because he was so cold. It was like, yeah, I did. But Austin's was still decent.
Yeah, Austin and Emily both were like, yeah, Emily was like, "Hey, you played a great game." And she's just
Yeah,
like
it's so
very,
funny.
very like not happy with that. And then you got Jake on the side, like, "Woo!"
Yeah, that was so good. The woo and then the quieter woo. The
Yeah.
quieter woo was just insane to do.
Whoa!
Ooh,
Oh, sorry.
yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah. But
You
yeah,
want a
what do you
hug? You
think?
want a hug?
Yeah.
Love you, Kelly. Get out of here.
I know like Abby was more intentionally antagonistic when she said, at least you made the jury to savage, but like I
Mhm.
do think that like you played a great game after that is in its own way incredibly savage.
Yeah. Yeah, you played a great game. That's why you're getting voted out. You
Mhm.
got blindsided. Great game, Kelly, dumbass.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, no, it was awesome. This episode was awesome. This season has been so great.
Yeah, no, really good. Like, yeah, I've been like holding my breath, waiting for it to fall off, but it has not.
Mm.
So
Well, maybe
yeah,
next episode when a third of the cast isn't voting.
I hope that that's like a some kind of preview, like deception or deflection or something, and it's not the case because that's so fucking awful.
That's insane, right?
Yeah,
That's like so
that's
insane.
that's very stupid. You're literally just like like I don't know if that would speed up a programming or make it. I guess it would depend on who the six people are, if that's the case. Because like I guess in theory, right? Like if four of the six people voting are the four remaining Bellows, and Bruce and Couture can avoid like murdering each other for 45 minutes, then like theoretically they would have a majority, right?
Right. Bello tried not to self-sabotage challenge impossible.
Yeah, impossible difficulty.
Yeah.
We've been saying it all season that like it's so obvious that Bello are just completely outclassed as players compared to Reba, and it was like very clear that Reba was going to come out on top. Just Reba
Oh,
for
man. Yeah, no, it'll be good. I think that we're in for a good second half. We might have an episode or two that's a little slow because of a pagonging, but also this is Modern Survivor. I wouldn't put it past people to start cutting their own because they get too paranoid.
Yeah, I mean, even also in the preview, we have Emily approaching Austin about like making a move on D, and then we have like this. We've been speculating. I know there's been rumors and talks about like a showmance from the season that it hasn't happened yet. A lot of people speculated that it was Austin and D. I think we're getting like the first like triplets of that in this preview.
Which, if that is the case, shout out to Emily for trying to immediately derail that.
Yeah. So I could say pretty confidently D is not going home next week, just based off of that preview. But yeah, I'm interested to see kind of where we go. Hopefully they don't poison the end game with too many stupid twists.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think we're going to get a good winner. I think that like like I said, Emily, D, Austin, and Drew, I think are the 4 people who can reasonably win the game at this point. I think that all 4 of them would make good winners. So
yeah, when Emily picks up the last 2 remaining Bellows and Blindsides D, what then?
Yeah,
gonna be so good.
Goes to the final 3 with Kendra and Bruce and wins unanimously.
Oh my god, that'd be insane. But yeah, our fan fiction aside, our Emily Flippin fan fiction aside.
Financial analysts, Emily Flippin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot left. We also didn't mention with Kelly out of the game, Austin now has 2 idols. So
crazy.
that could become relevant. One of them does expire at 6. So in theory, I guess if he makes it to the final 6, he's in fire making guaranteed at least.
Yeah, so like not great track record in Survivor history of people with 2 idols, right? James, very famous for
Kelly Kim.
Kelly Kim, second jury member, not good. Lots of other stuff also. Just not talk about. Dan in David versus Goliath, burned his idol for nothing and then got idol nullified on the next one. Pretty sad and terrible. Ty really the only successful 2 idol person.
We also had in 43 we had Jesse, who was able to play really well with his idols down the stretch, but then lost in fire making at final 4. Can only get you so far. Can only get you to 4. If you lose at fire at 4, you're out. So
I thought it was especially funny with Ties. He literally had them like the whole game.
Yeah,
like he got the pre-merge idol on the blue tribe almost immediately, and then got was it like the re-hidden red one?
I can't remember.
Or JT's idol after he got voted off. He got that one also like immediately as soon as he could possibly get it.
And then advantage Geddon, obviously. Got him into the final. He came 4th, right?
Yeah, he came 4th.
Yeah,
which is like, not to teach it. It's just so crazy that Ty's like one of the highest, average players. Yeah. So wild. Good for him. I never really loved him as a player. Never thought he was that good, but can't argue.
He's not that good. He's objectively bad Survivor, but he's like the Christmas Abbott, I think, of Survivor, where he's always going to go deep because he's just like blindly loyal to whoever picks him up first.
Yep.
And he can never win at the end.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the Big Tom, but no, Keith Neal was the Big Tom of his era.
Yeah. He's like he's got Bowie Jane energy.
Oh God, that's horrible, but true.
Yeah. Well, it's actually, I guess, like Ty technically made a move against Scott and Jason, if you count that, even though it was like Aubrey manipulating him to do that.
He did, but also I'm pretty sure if he had given Scott the Super Idol, he would have been voted off of that one.
Yeah.
So, like, I guess he saved Scott a little. But yeah, no, we'll see if Austin can actually be successful with 2 idols.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's definitely in the end game. It's just a matter of if he makes it to final 3 and if he wins. But I mean, I also thought that Caleb would be going closer to the end, and he didn't. So who knows?
What do we know in the modern era of Survivor, anyways? Right?
Yeah,
Julie's gonna win.
Nah, Julie's not gonna win. But
we thought Gabler wasn't gonna win too.
Sure, but Julie's like the reason the Gabler wasn't shown is because he wasn't doing anything. Right. Julie's actually like contributing and part of a majority alliance that's running the game. So like there's plenty they could show of her.
Yeah, we'll see. Anything else?
No, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to make sure to mention. I think I hit all the points that I wanted to mention. So
cool. I do as well. Well, where can you find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at Ben Sharon. I know Brian just put out a video where I have like a little bit of a voice cameo as a. It's not of me. I'm playing a character in that. So, not to break the illusion.
Yeah, my fake scumbag cousin.
Yeah.
Second time we've played him.
Yeah.
on the channel.
I do it
We
once
gotta
a
come up
year.
with we gotta come up with a good profile picture, better than the one I have for him. I was thinking about that today because it's a useful character to have for those types of videos that I like doing.
Yeah. So I think the previous year, the character was like responsible for killing grandma or something like that
Yeah.
at Thanksgiving.
Yep.
And this time, the character is like basically scamming Brian for sports betting money.
Yep. Yeah. It's I listen. I like to sports bet, but it is too omnipresent in our sports like consuming society right now.
Yeah, it hurts my heart that like poker, like online poker, was gutted to the level that it was, and then we have like now so much sports betting and slots, which are just objectively so much worse than poker.
Yeah, at least you can control stuff in poker. It doesn't change the fact that there's some dumb people playing poker.
Sure, of course. Yeah.
But,
no, like if you're bad, like there are plenty of people who are bad at poker and lose a lot of money playing poker. But as far as like gambling games go, poker is like one of the like least, random and most, they're professional poker players for a reason.
Right.
There's no
consistently good.
There's no professional slots players. That's also all I'll say.
And I think like you can make money gambling on sports. Yes. If you make smart bets. What you can't do is make dumbass parlays and put $100 on it because you might win 30,000 that you're never going to win. You're essentially lighting $100 on fire.
Yeah, no, that's when you're taking something that has a skill component and turning it into the lottery.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because like
go buy a scratch ticket, go buy a lottery ticket at that point.
Almost every week, I make a little bit of money gambling on sports. I lose and I win, but I come out ahead more than I come out behind. And I have a lot of self-control right now, knock on wood, 5 years from now, and I'm fucking signing my kick deal and moving to Canada because I'm addicted to slots. But no, like some people are just really dumb at betting on sports. And I think it's really bad how easy it is to get to.
Yeah, they wouldn't have all that ad revenue money to spend on these like very expensive commercial slots if there weren't a bunch of dumb people dumping a bunch of money into these apps.
Yeah, and I mean I've been consistent on this issue. I feel I made that sketch that I post every now and then of like the daily sports thing where it's like people are just going to be losing their money way more. Like the commercials at the time were very like it's such easy money, dude, and it's like, okay, well, I see a lot of people lose money every week, so I don't think it is. And I'm kind of seeing that now, and I don't love it.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I mean, like even like if you're a professional sports bettor, which is like very, very like there's like probably like a double digit number of professional sports bettors that are actually good at it in the world. Like literally less than 100. Like these people do nothing other than like tweak. They essentially do what like high frequency traders do with stocks and like dividends and stuff, but with sports. And they do it on sports that have like very low variance. Like baseball is like probably the one that has the lowest variance from my experience.
Yes. Yeah, no, if you like are a big baseball fan, you can make good money because the sample size is so large in that sport. It's perfect. That being said, I like Lamar Jackson anytime touchdown tonight. No, I'm just kidding, obviously, but I mean he might. But yeah, no,
he might get hurt in like the first 5 minutes of the game. You never know.
Yeah, anything could happen.
Yeah.
And you know what happens when someone gets hurt in the first 5 minutes and you have bets on them? Nothing. You lose.
Yep.
The fucking house takes that money. Fucking idiot.
Yep.
Oh, man. Anyways, invest in gambling addiction services. That's where the real money is.
Yeah.
5 years from now, if you can get in right now, 5 years from now, going to be a booming industry of support groups, rehab centers, all that. It's going to be great.
Yeah, is there a company that that does that? I don't know. I know there's like general addiction, stuff like that. Is there a gambling addiction app? Get on the ground floor of this.
Yeah, if you're looking to capitalize on the gambling boom, that's the next boom.
Yeah, that's like the evil congressmen and women who like insider traded on the COVID pandemic before everyone knew it was happening.
Yeah. This is if like, man, when the Sacklers were starting to get those opium pills into the hands of the masses, if you could have invested in addiction rehab centers and Narcan stocks back then, man, you would be rolling in it right now. So don't miss the opportunity, everybody.
Yeah.
This is America. You only get one chance to live the American dream, which is, of course, cashing in on the misery of others.
Yeah, all I can think of is the scene from Silicon Valley where Peter Gregory is like analyzing sesame seed futures with Burger King.
Yeah. Fuck, that was such a good show.
Yeah,
might have to rewatch.
Great show.
Yeah, it really was. But yeah, no, sorry, tangent, but somehow that video is not specifically about sports betting. Will I in the future make a sports betting video in the same style? Yeah, probably. I can see myself doing that. This is about stories in the cryptocurrency realm, which very interesting stuff happening there. Lots of big ideas.
Gambling tangential.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh yeah. Hey, but at least someone went to jail for it. Like one person suffered consequences for doing something bad.
The same number of people who went to jail for the 2008 global recession.
Yeah, not Logan Paul. He didn't go to jail, even though he should be in jail. He's a WWE champion right now, I'm pretty sure. So that's fair. Life is very just.
Yeah.
Oh man. Anyways, please check out the main channel video. Please subscribe here. Ben and I got some stuff cooking in the kitchen. Let me tell you,
we've been cooking for years.
Yeah, we've been
it's been slow simmering.
Yeah.
One of these days we'll turn the crock pot off and start serving.
Once we get there, fall off the bone like flavor happening. Yeah. But no, I am really, really, really excited about the future show that we got going on there. It's going to be on the Wicked Get Everything channel, so please check that out, subscribe there, and Have Not Room. We did that. We finally finished covering BB25 after taking time off. And it was cathartic to just end it.
A combination of the Survivor overlap, schedules, people getting sick, people having personal issues, really kind of also obviously apathy with the season.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I love Survivor so much. Like I always, I love Big Brother too, but I will probably put Survivor over Big Brother when I have to.
Well, yeah, I think we said before, Survivor is on average a better show, whereas Big Brother is like an on average better designed game. When both games are left alone, but the Big Brother producers tend to not leave the game alone, which is why it becomes a worse game.
Yeah. So yeah, check that out. And other than that, good things are happening. The writers and actors strikes are over, which means we'll probably have more podcasts covering different shows as they come out. I know for sure Timur has told me he wants to do a Fallout podcast when the Fallout TV show comes out. I think genuinely huge chance to be one of the worst shows ever made. I just in my bones feel that. I want to be wrong, but I don't think I will be.
Look, see. I think The Last of Us give people adapting video games way too much unearned confidence.
Yep. I'm honestly surprised they didn't just shove Pedro Pascal into that. It'll work, right? This is fine.
There's a reason why people, were so impressed with The Last of Us. It's because it's an anomaly. It's an exception. It's not the rule.
And it literally was one of the only video game properties where it was like, this would be a good movie or TV show. Like you can adapt this, and you can see how you can adapt it pretty easily. On the other hand, and I'm about to lose any potential Zoomer listeners we had. Well, I enjoyed watching the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. It was not great.
No way.
Objectively,
I couldn't tell
bad
that from the
movie.
trailer.
Yeah. I just really like bad horror movies. One of my like guilty pleasures, I guess, in life is just watching the worst horror movies ever. And probably came from growing up watching like the sci-fi original movies. Where it's like, oh, this is horrible. I love it.
Yeah.
It's a on paper bad movie. But it's really
yeah,
fun.
you could tell.
Yeah.
Like the trailer looked like it was a college film, honestly.
Yeah, right. But shout out, they had my boy PETA fighting for his life against the animatronics. Very entertaining.
Yep. Speaking of new Hunger Games,
dude, I can't wait. I read the book and it was pretty good, surprisingly good book. So I think the movie will like do it for people.
Okay.
We're gonna have a resurgence, so we're gonna get a bunch of unneeded Hunger Game movies. We're gonna lose the point of the Hunger Games.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And it's just gonna be like, every couple of years get a movie that just eventually turns us into the citizens of the Capitol rooting for our blood sports.
Yeah, well, I mean, we that is reality, so it's that would just be true to form.
Yeah, like it's all the themes of oppression and corruption and all that will be completely lost as we are like, I can't wait to watch the Finnick movie. It's gonna be sick when he kills other teenagers with his trident, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's like people misunderstanding Squid Games as well.
Right. Like the thing that I liked a lot about the Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes, or Snakes and Songbirds, whichever it is it explained a lot of like backstory stuff that pays off, like makes stuff in the main series like mean a little more, which I think is good for a prequel. And I don't think it ever really portrayed Snow as like a protagonist. It was always kind of like, oh yeah, this dude is a self-serving shithead. And by the end of the movie, you're like, yep, that's the guy who would go on to be this brutal dictator.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really well done, because it didn't make it be like, oh, I feel so bad for him. He had this horrible.
He was really corrupted,
Yeah, it was like, no, he was always like a self-serving asshole who just like capitalized on every opportunity he could.
Yeah, no, makes sense. Other things, other than that, I'm excited for House of the Dragon season 2 whenever that ends up coming out. So if you guys cover that again, I'll hopefully try and be on an episode or 2 of that.
Hell yeah, that'd be awesome.
Because I wanted to do it season 1, it just never panned out. So
yeah, Pod for Sea of the Dragon was the working title of that one. I don't know. Unsurprisingly, because Game of Thrones was out for so long, a lot of the good pun titles were taken.
Yeah.
Pod of the Dragon would have been the perfect one, but someone else, of course.
Yeah, that's the obvious one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to wake up pretty early to get that one.
Really did. So yeah, maybe I don't know. We'll find another obscure reference to put as the title, like the Have Not Room, like an equivalent. The Second Sons podcast or something.
Yeah, no, I think the Have Not Room and the Blindsiders are good because they're like you immediately understand what they're about based off of context clues, but they're not like there's not like 17 of them.
Yep, exactly. And I have had people tell me that the Blindsiders is a like all-time great Survivor podcast title, so proud of that.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Other than that, I know we rambled on a lot, but it was a great episode, so I had to do it. We had to get the nonsense at the end.
Yep. As always 15 to 20 minutes of garbage.
Yep. Next week, Thanksgiving on Thursday, so we're probably going to record Friday. Depending on what time we record, maybe I'll have it up Friday, like evening, if we record in the afternoon. So be on the lookout for that. Definitely Saturday it will be out. But yeah, obviously we're not going to be like, hey family, We got to record a podcast.
Shoo him out the door. All right, we gotta talk about Survivor.
Sorry, everybody. Yeah, no, everyone. We're just gonna enjoy our Thanksgiving, and yeah, it'll be good. So, be a little late next week, but it won't be, not. And Dylan should be back for that one. He has real life stuff. He has kids. He actually has responsibilities.
Yeah, who thought?
Yeah. So that'll be exciting. I'm very excited to talk to him about Survivor after not other than text message, not talking to him about it in a couple weeks.
Yeah, especially because his winner pick is definitely going to be the one to win out of the three of them, probably.
Right?
But, yeah.
Oh, man. All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll see you in the next one.